Donald Trump has suffered some staggering legal setbacks in just the past month. And I think it's time that we take a few moments to appreciate the fact that even, with the exception of Eileen Cannon down in South Florida, even when Donald Trump goes up against judges that he put in power, he can't win because his legal arguments are that bad. One of the things, of course, that happened most recently, a day ago, was the fact that a court ruled that Donald Trump cannot claim immunity from the civil lawsuits that he is facing for allegedly, and again, we say allegedly because he hasn't been convicted, allegedly inciting the Capitol riot. Trump had argued that these cases, the civil cases, you have some brought by lawmakers, some brought by organizations like the NAACP, some brought by the Capitol police officers themselves. They're suing Trump, saying he basically started the riot that got all these people injured. So they're suing him in civil court, not criminal, obviously. But he has gone to court through his lawyers and argued that, hey, you can't do that because when I spoke at that Stop the Steal rally, that was my official presidential duty, and therefore I cannot be sued in civil court. I do have immunity. Now, the judge, after hearing those arguments, said, interesting thought. Wrong, but interesting. You do not have immunity because that was not a presidential duty. That was, in fact, a campaign duty. The campaign speech ain't protected, so you will be facing these civil lawsuits. Now, that is the ruling that came out this week, and obviously Trump is going to challenge it because this is what he does. But even with challenging it, appealing it, what are his chances of success? Probably not all that great, considering all of the other failures both him and all of his little allies have suffered in recent months. You know, Lindsey Graham tried to claim, hey, I can't go testify, I can't comply with a subpoena in Georgia because of the speech or debate clause. Even the Supreme Court looked at that and said, nah, dude, you got to go. You got to go down there. The Supreme Court wouldn't step in and protect Donald Trump from having to hand over his tax returns to the congressional panel, the Ways and Means Committee. Not that it's going to do them much good, seeing as how they lose power in about a month, but still, it's a loss at a court where he appointed 33% of the justices up there. Then, of course, you have John Eastman, Donald Trump's lawyer, who's in really hot water with regard to the fake elector scheme, keeps arguing, oh, this is attorney-client privilege. Me and Trump talking here. You can't turn that over. And pretty much every time the courts look at this, they're like, nope, this isn't covered because it's pretty obvious criminal behavior. You have to turn it over. The same thing has happened to former White House counselor Pat Cipollone, who opposed Trump's zealous drive to overturn the 2020 election, and he had to testify without invoking executive privilege before a D.C. grand jury investigating Donald Trump. It's the same story over and over and over. Trump and his people, normally at his request, either claiming executive privilege, attorney-client privilege, or in some cases with Trump, outright immunity. But whatever it is, the argument is always the same. We can't give you documents. We can't give you testimony. I can't even be sued. And every time he goes to court and argues this, or his friends do, the courts laugh in their face and say, that's not true. How many more losses is this guy going to rack up? I mean, in most of these instances, he's running out of options, right? I mean, the Supreme Court may be his only chance. And even in some of those cases, he's already gone there and he's lost. Things are not looking good for him. I do finally kind of feel like the walls are closing in on him. I know I don't want to, the guy is Teflon Don. He's squirmed out of, tougher situations in the past. But this feels different, doesn't it? This feels like maybe something will happen this time. With all of the losses he is racking up, I just don't know how he can wriggle out of this. I'm sure he can find a way. I just don't see it happening. I hope I'm right about that. But I am very much prepared to be wrong about it also, because again, this is Teflon Don we're talking about. This is uncharted territory with a former president being under all these criminal investigations. We don't know what's going to happen. But we do know if this was anybody other than the former president, they probably would already be in jail. So, hey, we can have wishful thinking, I guess. We can be slightly optimistic. Just don't be so optimistic that you're incredibly disappointed when he once again gets away with it all, which is likely to happen. But again, you never know. So keep a little bit of hope. He's lost a lot recently, and it stands to reason he's going to continue losing in the future. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share. But again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.